You're literally 10 minutes away from playing the best tennis of your life if you take the next few things I'm about to say and take them to heart and start actually implementing them. I know what it feels like to play, 6 hours a day, day after day after day, and not just play no better, but play worse tennis. And it is one of the most frustrating feelings in the world because you're being like a crazy person, training so much, and you're not getting any better. And it's the most frustrating thing. And I know exactly how it feels. So what I've done in the last really the last 12 months to my tennis that has allowed me to get absurdly much more improvement than the first 15 to 16 years that I played the game is because I implemented the next few things I'm about to tell you. And really the big things is you need focus, you need grit, and you need an unwavering resolve to get the job done and finish the job. Okay? So let's start with the first one. All right, focus. You need focus. You cannot just go out there and play 6 hours of tennis a day. One of my students, he really, many would say he's a very talented player. And when he first came to us, he looked great. I was like, wow, this guy's gonna be a killer one day. All right? But man, his forehand was so, it was a catastrophe. All right? And we spent the last 6 weeks working on his forehand, going piece by piece by piece, right? Yeah, a lot of coaches, you know what they would do? Lesson. Let's do the short court, the ground strokes, forehand, backhand, volleys, serve. Oh, 1 hour? All right, time to call it a day. Yeah, I'll see you next week. And you know what that does to people? It doesn't give you the results that we were able to give him in 6 weeks because there's no focus in that kind of teaching. There's no focus. Okay? You know what we did with him? For 6 weeks, we only worked on the forehand. We started from the contact. We got that until we got 80% of the time he was doing it right. Then we took it another level, made it more difficult. And we got that 80% right. We took it to the next level. We had this unwavering focus to improve each part of the forehand. And that's what allowed us to take his forehand to a level that was so good in the shortest amount of time that I've never seen possible. And that was never possible with me. I mean, I've gone back and I've looked at my forehand from when I was younger and all the way to my college days. And I'll tell you, I am so jealous of myself as a coach. that was a joke, all right? But I wish that I had somebody that had given me the kind of focus we gave this kid, okay? Because that's how you're going to start seeing results like never before. And that's when you need grit, okay? Because focusing is really freaking hard. Because you're going to hit so many plateaus. You're going to fail so much. You're going to feel so much pain because that's what growth requires. That is what it requires, and most people cannot deal with the pain. And that's when you need grit. When things get hard, you keep going. You keep freaking going, and you don't quit. You know how that plateau goes, right? It could be this short. It could be this long, right? All the way off the camera. Okay? But you cannot quit because I can guarantee you at the end of the plateau is another rise in the mastery level. Okay? At the end of every plateau is the next level. And I cannot tell you how long the plateau is going to be or how short it's going to be. All I can tell you is if you keep going and you keep trying new ways to figure out the problem and get over it, right? Whether if it's trying to get quicker hands and tennis isn't doing it for you and you need to play pickleball to figure it out. If it requires you to go to 50,000 coaches, if it requires you to analyze video after video after video, and not just yourself, but the pro players, and you have an unwavering resolve to figure it out, and figure out any potential solution to solve the problem, that's what it takes. That's what grit is. Perseverance. Not quitting. Keeping going when you fail over and over and over. You fail 100 times and you're saying to yourself, I'm going to fail 101 times because I know eventually I'm going to break through. I don't care how long it takes, but I'm going to break through and I'm going to keep trying different things because you know what? If you want to be insane and keep doing the same thing over and over and over again and expect a different result, yeah, that's dumb. That is dumb. But you know what's not dumb is trying out different things each time, right? Being okay with being uncomfortable. Being okay with being uncomfortable is so important, all right? And that's what grit is. You've got to have that. You gotta get willing to be uncomfortable and just not quit. And it's gonna be painful, but you know what? At the end of that pain is a lot of happiness. It's a lot of happiness when you look at how far you've come, how hard you tried to get here, and you're gonna really hold yourself to a high esteem, because you know what? 99% of people are not willing to do what you just did. All right? 99% of people are not willing to do what you are willing to do. So you need grit. All right? And that's grit. Not giving up and finishing the job counts. You know what? It's you can be mediocre in life. You could totally be mediocre. If you want to get and have a nice forehand and a nice backhand and a nice serve, totally fine. If you want a good serve, fine. If you want a great serve, fine. If you want the best serve that this world has ever seen, then you need to not give up. You need to keep going and say, mediocrity is not enough for me. Mediocrity is not enough for me. You have to stick it out. When you think you're close but you're not there yet, you don't just say, that's good enough. You keep going. Because like I said earlier, the plateaus, they happen, but guess what? There's always another level of mastery. Look at all the pros. Nadal has changed his serve technique so many times. Federer has iterated through his forehand from the time he got on the tour to even now afterward. After he's off the tour, he's still designing rackets for his new swing that's going to constantly be changing, right? Look at Nadal's forehand. It's changed many times throughout his career. Djokovic changed his serve to become a better player, right? They're constantly searching for how to get better and better and better. The best people do not let the job go undone, okay? You have to literally accept the fact that to be great, you have to be better than everyone else, all right? Because if you're not better than everyone else, you can't literally be great. Literally, you cannot, all right? And that requires you to continuously get better and better and better, to push yourself, to have focus, to stay on one thing at a time until you kept moving up every level of difficulty, right? Using 80% success rate as your metric, using the 80-20 rule, right? Having grit, perseverance, not quitting, keeping going. And you know what? It's hard to do it alone, so you might need someone that's going to tell you and sit next to you and say, you can't quit. I'm not going to let you quit. You're going to keep going. You're going to keep going. I'm going to support you. You're doing great. You're doing an incredible job, but the job's not done yet. The job's not done yet, but we've got this. All right? So if you need someone to be in that part for you, then go and find that person. I don't care if it's me shouting at the camera right now, telling you that you got to keep going. You can't quit. All right? You can't. This slice is hard to figure out. I know it's hard. New technique and developing a new game is hard. But you know what? When you do hard things, you live a great life. You play a great game. Okay? So, I don't care who it is, but find someone if you need that person, to be that supportive piece that you need. Okay? And don't quit. Very important. All those guys in the box, they're there to be the support that's going to keep pushing the player to keep going and going and going, and to not quit on themselves. You can't quit on yourself. So, you know what? I hope that this video made an impact on you. I hope that when you go out on the court next time, that you're willing to literally stay on that court for hours, focusing on one thing only. One thing only. That you're not going to quit until that thing is done, right? And it's exactly how you want it to be. All right, now I want you to watch this next video, because all this stuff is incredible, but, you know, if you don't know what you're doing with your game, then it doesn't really matter, because you need that focus, right? So I want you to go ahead and watch this video. It's going to help you figure out what you need to focus on in your game to start leveling up and playing the best tennis of your life.